The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of DigiAll. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Hey everyone, welcome to DigiAll Tech News. It's Friday, December 19th, 2025. I'm Kylie Brooks, and wow, do we have a packed show today. We're talking about massive AI collaborations, some fascinating hiring trends at Google, a security warning you need to hear, Netflix making moves in gaming, and a peek into what AI agents might look like next year. Let's dive in. The US Department of Energy is teaming up with tech giants like Microsoft, Google, and Nvidia on something called the Genesis mission. It's all about using AI to supercharge scientific research. Google's playing the boomerang game. 1 in 5 AI software engineers they hired this year, former employees coming back. That's a 20% rehire rate. Security alert. Russian-linked hackers are exploiting Microsoft 365's device code authentication to steal credentials. This one's been happening since September, and it's sneaky. Netflix just acquired Ready Player Me, an avatar creation platform. The streaming giant is doubling down on its gaming strategy in a big way. And Google Cloud is saying 2026 will be the year AI agents fundamentally reshape how businesses operate. Their new report lays out 5 major trends we should watch. Okay, let's start with this Department of Energy announcement. Yesterday, they revealed partnerships with 24 organizations, and we're talking heavy hitters here. Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, AWS, Oracle, IBM, Intel, AMD, and even AI companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and xAI. The goal? The Genesis mission, which is basically using artificial intelligence to accelerate scientific research and reduce America's reliance on foreign technology. Here's what's interesting. Nvidia's bringing accelerated computing platforms and AI models specifically for scientific simulations. Microsoft and Google are providing cloud infrastructure and AI tools for massive scale research. And get this, OpenAI has something called OpenAI for Science, where they're deploying their frontier AI models directly into national labs and giving DOE scientists access to their tools. Anthropic is contributing their Claude models, plus a dedicated engineering team and AI agents. The applications they're targeting: nuclear energy, quantum computing, robotics, and supply chain optimization. This builds on earlier work at Argonne and Los Alamos National Laboratories, and the mission here is to really speed up scientific discovery while expanding partnerships with academia and nonprofits. Now, about Google's boomerang trend. This is fascinating from a talent war perspective. 20% of the AI software engineers Google hired in 2025 were people who used to work there. That's up from previous years, and it's a strategic move to compete with rivals like OpenAI, Meta, and Anthropic. According to Google's head of compensation, John Casey, engineers are attracted by the financial resources and computational infrastructure Google can offer, which are absolutely essential for cutting-edge AI work. But here's the context. A lot of these former employees became available after Google's major layoffs in 2023, when Alphabet cut 12,000 positions, that's 6% of their workforce. Since then, there have been continued cuts and voluntary departures. Industry-wide, according to ADP research, rehiring is on the rise, especially in the information sector. Google's been making a comeback in generative AI after a slow start following ChatGPT's launch in 2022. They've had successes with the Gemini app and just last month launched Gemini 3. They've also been cutting bureaucracy, reducing middle management, and bringing back key figures like Noam Shazia and Daniel DeFreitas from Character AI. Meanwhile, competitors like Microsoft have been poaching from DeepMind, and Sergey Brin is personally recruiting talent. Alphabet's stock is up more than 60% this year, outperforming its mega-cap peers. All right, security time, and this one's important. A suspected Russia-aligned group that Proofpoint is tracking as UNK_academic flare has been running a phishing campaign since September, using device code authentication to steal Microsoft 365 credentials. Here's how it works. Attackers use compromised email addresses from government and military organizations to target entities in the US and Europe, particularly in government, think tanks, higher education, and transportation. They build rapport with victims through seemingly benign outreach related to their expertise, then arrange fake meetings or interviews, and share a link to a supposed document. That link goes to a Cloudflare worker URL that looks like the sender's Microsoft OneDrive. It tells victims to copy a code and click Next, which redirects them to Microsoft's legitimate device code login page. When they enter that code, it generates an access token that the attackers can use to take over the account. This device code phishing method was previously documented back in February by Microsoft and Volexity, attributed to Russia-aligned groups like Storm, 2372, and APT29. Recent warnings from Amazon Threat Intelligence and Volexity show this tactic is still actively being abused by Russian actors. The targets suggest Russia alignment. They're going after Russia-focused specialists and Ukrainian organizations. Multiple threat actors are using this, including a cybercrime group called TA2723 that uses salary-related lures. Tools like Graphish and Squarefish have lowered the barrier for less skilled attackers to exploit this flow. The mitigation? Implement conditional access policies that block device code flow for all users, or use allow lists for approved users, operating systems, or IP addresses. Let's talk Netflix and gaming. Today, Netflix announced they've acquired Ready Player Me, an Estonia-based avatar creation platform. The idea is to use their tools and infrastructure to build avatars that let subscribers maintain consistent personas and express fandom across different games. Terms weren't disclosed, but Ready Player Me had raised $72 million from investors like Andreessen Horowitz, Endeavor, and Convoy Ventures, plus angels from Roblox, Twitch, and King Games. The startup's team of about 20 people, including founders Raina Selvet, Heva Javioja, Kaspar Thierry, and CEO Timu Toki, are all joining Netflix. No timeline yet for when we'll see these avatars or which games will use them. Ready Player Me will wind down its existing services, including its online avatar tool and Player Zero, by January 31st, 2026. CEO Timu Toki said their vision has always been to enable avatars and identities to travel across many games and virtual worlds, and now they're excited to scale that tech and expertise to a global audience through Netflix. This reflects Netflix's evolving gaming strategy. They started focusing on mobile games 4 years ago with mixed results. They acquired studios and titles under Mike Verdu, but later shut down several, including ones behind Squid Game Unleashed and Stranger Things, and returned others to their founders. They brought in Alan Tascan as president of games after Verdu's departure. Recent shifts emphasize TV playable games like party titles, kids games, narrative experiences, and big names like WWE 2K25, Red Dead Redemption, a game called Best Guess with a $1 million jackpot hosted by Hunter March and Howie Mandel, and a FIFA title coming for the 2026 World Cup. Netflix is also testing interactive real-time voting for live content, kind of like audience participation in shows like American Idol. Whether they can transform their passive viewing brand into an interactive gaming hub, that remains to be seen. Finally, let's look ahead to 2026. Google Cloud just released their AI Agent Trends report, and they're forecasting that next year will be the year AI agents fundamentally reshape business operations. These aren't just chatbots. We're talking about agents that understand organizational goals, develop multi-step plans semi-autonomously, and execute actions under human oversight. They've outlined 5 key trends. First, AI agents will boost productivity by letting employees delegate routine tasks so they can focus on strategic work. For example, TELUS has over 57,000 team members, saving 40 minutes per interaction using AI, and Suzano used Gemini Pro to cut query response times by 95% for 50,000 employees through natural language to SQL translation. Second, agentic workflows will embed into core business processes, with multiple agents collaborating on complex automations that go way beyond simple chatbots. The Salesforce Google Cloud Agent-to-Agent protocol is helping create interoperable agent ecosystems. Third, agents will provide hyper-personalized, concierge-style customer service, eliminating those scripted interactions we all hate. Danfoss automated 80% of email order processing, reducing response times from 42 hours to near real time. Fourth, in security, agents will handle vast amounts of data and alerts for quicker threat responses. Macquarie Bank is using Google Cloud AI to lower false positives by 40% and increase self-service usage by 38%. And fifth, businesses will emphasize continuous hands-on training for AI-ready workforces, moving away from isolated training sessions to adaptive learning. The piece encourages checking out the full report for more predictions. And honestly, it's worth a read if you're thinking about how AI will impact your work next year. So there you have it. Government and big tech collaborating on AI for science, Google playing the talent rehire game, a serious security threat you need to protect against, Netflix betting big on gaming avatars, and a look at how AI agents might transform work in 2026. It's a lot to digest, but that's the tech world right now. Fast-moving, high stakes, and honestly, pretty exciting. Thanks for tuning into Digital Tech News. I'm Kylie Brooks, and we'll be back with more updates as they develop. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll catch you next time.